Silencio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Straight Talk, and we are here. We are live Saturday night, 30th of August. So listen, we have a lot to cover. We're not going to be on here for too long. Just a matter of time before the actual black power, black supremacy, black dominance takes place. It has always been on the table. We have never not looked at this like it's a game. Our enemies are weak economically, therefore politically. It is imperative that we bring all of this to the fore and to conquer them the way that they need to be conquered. Economically first, and then once we are in control economically, as you know, money talk, bullshit walk, then the political, policies, laws, and regulations can be changed to benefit us. And that's how it goes. No bullshit, no games, no playing, no nothing. This is real. Africa is united. Africa has its own gold, backing its own currency. And if you want to deal with Africa, 1.5 billion people, not counting the black people outside of Africa in the diaspora. But what you must realize is that Africa begins and ends at the four corners of the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. And so as we are looking at this the way that it is, all of the Caribbean islands and the Pacific Islands are wanting to join the Sahel states. The one African army, the one African currency, the one African gold market, the one African everything. One voice, one vote, one continent. And it cannot be ignored. Money talks, bullshit walk. You know, this is not, how would I want to say that? Excuse me for a minute. This is not some type of game that is going on. The white media is not going to tell you what is going on. The richest continent on the planet is black, Africa. It is united, and it is scaring the fuck out of white people. As Gaddafi said, if you kill me, you'll be opening the door to all of hell for all of eternity. And white folks are dying left and right. They're getting their cut throat, their heads chopped off, they're beaten up. But they're not going to tell you that. The revolution will not be televised. Just won't. And that is the reason why we must take control of the media, inside and outside. Because it's bad enough that we have internal enemies, these coon-ass Negroes that want to go along to get along and sing the song Kumbaya while holding hands with the rat-tail growing white folk. This is not a game. But if it is, it's a game that is played for keeps. Our ancestors have woken Mother Africa. She is looking around and she's paying attention as to where her children are and what they are doing. And she is very, very fucking pissed. There's no going back. White folks' ass is in a sling and they know it. We know it. And the world knows it. There's no ands, there's no ifs, there's no buts, there's no playing anymore. And like I always say in the scrolling letters, FAWF, fuck all white folks. Because to make it clean and clarify, white folks are dirty. There's never been a good white person, because if it is, and if they are, or if they do exist, what they don't give a fuck about you niggas. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about their own kind. They'll kill their mother to get a dollar. This is how bad, this is how dirty they are. Now, oh, you just being reverse racist. Oh, you just terrible. You're one of them Negroes who get revolutionary. Oh, no. I'm not. I'm just Isaiah. 52 years old. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've been dealing with white folks all my life. I know them. They'll stab your motherfucking ass in the back. Look at all the food that we're supposed to be eating that's supposed to be food. It's not food. Over the last 5 years, they done killed close to not over 200 million people with the vaccine. They're killing I don't know how many people with the food that we eat, with the candy that we eat. They're trying to come out with genetically altered and or susceptible DNA changes that will affect black people only. They killed every last, what's the name of that country, that was on the cartoon with the animal or with the beast going around on the circle, the Tasmanian devil. They killed every last Tasmanian down to the baby. The last man, they cut off his testicle sac. They made a tobacco pouch out of it. They attacked and bombed the atoll 63 motherfucking times with a nuclear bomb. The black people who were in that area, they left because their resource and their food source, the ocean, they could not eat the food out of there. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Do you think white folk give a fuck? No. And now they're making the COVID vaccine a part of the injection vaccine schedule for babies. If this does not wake your funky, stupid asses up, I don't know what. So you know what I do? You know what I say? Fuck you. But this is not a game. This is not a game. We are here trying to reestablish our dominance, rightfully so, because we are the children of Israel. We are the true rulers of the world. We are the black universe filtered down from the black heavens in black form, human form. Our melanin is worth $4,000 a gram, I think it is, somewhere around there. The world cannot deal without us, cannot be without us. The mother of all humanity is the black woman. White folks don't lie and scheme and connived and conned their way into the upper stratosphere of wealth and style of death. This cannot continue. They flipped the whole world upside down. Right is wrong, wrong is right, justice is injustice, injustice is justice, and so on and so on and so on. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. These nasty, dirty motherfuckers. And I'm not just saying it just out of hate. This is some real shit. I keep it real. I say what the fuck the facts are. And I give no fuck about your feelings or emotions. I keep that shit out. I don't give a fuck about my feelings and my emotions. I am here to tell the truth. They want to have sex with each other. 2, 4, 6, 12 people deep, pissing and shitting on each other and on themselves, eating it, drinking it, and vomiting it back up. Don't take my fucking word for it, because I didn't fucking first believe this shit when I heard it. Two girls in a cup. Now look what I did. Oh man, this is not real. Lo and behold, I found it. And lo and behold, 2 white girls drinking shit out of a cup. And I went further. And it was called, they don't have it anymore. It's called SCAT. SCAT. And there you see white folks loving it up, eating it like the motherfucking goddamn Popeye chicken. Pissing on each other, shitting on each other, eating it up, drinking it up. Baby. And you niggas want to be around. You niggas want to fucking follow me. See, this is the reason why we are where we are. Because we have disregarded the voice and voices of our ancestors. They hated these motherfuckers. This is not no motherfucking game. I'm just trying to say anything and everything out of my mouth. This is fact. The real Jews have always been black. They never mixed with these motherfuckers. Not only the real Jews hated them, we hated them as a whole because they are nasty, stinking, dirty motherfuckers. We taught them how to take a bath and still don't take a bath. There's a video or videos out there saying they only make their kid take a bath once a week, if not that, or 2 weeks. They only when the parent sees their kid sticky and dirty and smelly. What the fuck? What do you mean? Your ass is stinking every motherfucking day. Hell, if you ain't going into the bathroom, taking some toilet paper and wetting it with water and putting some soap on that motherfucker and scrubbing your ass with it at some point during the day while your ass is all up in your drawer with closed up, dark, funky, and you farting all day. You know those shit stink. So it's important to go into the bathroom and wash your ass, motherfucker. They don't do that. They never done that. Oye, esto haciéndome yo cállate. And it's important to understand these people. They have no decorum. They have no morality. They have nothing. And now look at them. France, all of Europe, they broke apart. That's disgusting. They're begging Burkina Faso and all of Europe, all of Africa, especially Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Oh, help us. No, motherfucker. What goes around comes around, you dumb bitch. Fuck you, fuck your mama, fuck your... And y'all didn't give a shit about us. With our kids starving, being without life, you don't give a fuck. There's a picture and go on and Google. Everything I say, you can look it up. Human farm of France. And it breaks my fucking heart to see that shit when it pisses me off. Because now I know these motherfuckers never gave a shit about it. They only gave a shit about what they can take, get rich, and say, fuck you nigga. Hold on. So go and take a look at that picture. Human zoo And you can see white folks, France, I think it might be Italy, I don't know, feeding our ancestors who were young kids through a goddamn fence like they fucking animals. There are 25,000 decapitated heads in fucking France that need to be buried and respected. Those are our ancestors. They just brought back a king's head, and you're going to see that tonight. That's been in France for 120 years. Disrespect, disrespect, disrespect. You know, me, I give no white folks these fucking feeling because I know they don't have none. They have no moral. They have no gumption. They have no sense of justice. They have nothing. And the only way that black people are going to get their justice is by taking that mother. Kill them. This ain't no motherfucking hate speech. This is some real shit. White folks are killing us left and right. But leave it to you Negroes who want to hold a hand and march and pray and protest and all. Man, fuck you too. You need to die. Enough of this motherfucking shit is enough. Our ancestors are waking us up. We understand the history of them. They're not white. They're not Anglo-Saxon. They're not European or Caucasian. All of those terms are descriptive of us. They stole our language. They stole our culture. They stole our history. They stole our names. Because to be honest, when they just got here some 3,000 years ago, they didn't have a name. They became wild men. Look that up on Google. Wild men. Hairy like a motherfucker. Stinking and dirty. Don't take no baths. Shitting and pissing. Can you imagine? And that's the reason why the bubonic plague took off. And that's the reason why our royal black heritage, tradition, culture, and everything in Europe, because it was ruled by black people, began to die off. Not because they were better at war, because they were infected. They were trapped all up into, I'm drawing a blank, they were all trapped up into Asia. I want to say Asia Minor, but it's going to come to me. And we were taking pop shots at them. The Black Turk, the Persian, you name it. But they made up a deal with the Turks after they took it over, because in Turkey at that point, there wasn't no harsh slavery. And the word slave come from the word Slavic Indo-European. And so in Turkey, they were able to raise themselves up and become leaders. That's exactly what they did. And they broke past the Persian Wall and the Hadrian Wall, rather, I should say, all up into our black Holy Roman Empire. Because you got to understand that the first popes were black, pushing that papacy into France. And all hell broke. 30-year war, the 10-year war, 100-year, all of these things were a war between us and them. Learn your goddamn history. Please check out my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 1 and 2. Hold on. That's to understanding white supremacy. White supremacy, you guys, is the overarching reaction to black oppression, right? And book one deals with why do white people hate black people so much. This is one hell of a book. It's almost 1,000 pages. They deal with that one particular target, not one sentence, not one paragraph, not one chapter. The whole book is based on that. So once you read that one, you're going to really love book 2, because you're going to understand where all this hate comes from. All right. So with that being said, tonight we're going to cut it a little short because I'm only concentrating on. I have a feeling that I really want to make sure that you get in it. You know what I mean? And that you're understanding what it's all about, and that's my overarching concentration and focus. But tonight I took liberty to really look at what is important, and all of it is important. I'm not going to try to say one is more important than the other, but I'm going to say the one that I weighted out, separated it out for Tuesday night, and hopefully, and I know SABN, and if you know about that, Supreme African Breaking News, called SABN. Check that out on YouTube and follow them because this guy is really giving it tooth and nail, the exact thing or things that are going on in Africa and around the world in 10 to 15 minutes. I really appreciate his notification and what he's doing and how he does it. Beautifully done, beautifully. So without further ado, I want to go on and go to the first one. And I really like this guy. His name is Amazing Lucas on YouTube. Just going to check and see what he's talking about. These white folks that we call white folks today are nothing but Neanderthal. Wild and wild. And you need to check out the book called The Iceman's Inheritance and the other books that are associated and that he talked about in the bibliography of it. All right? Here we go.
Literally devolved. Oh my God. So y'all know how I joke about how many of the lineage of evil, the races, that they had this Neanderthal caveman mindset when it comes to anything of, white person good, black person bad. And that's how they view the world. Very, very, polarizing, very binary, very black and white. And it's funny up until now, okay? Because what is happening is, as I said in the intro, they're literally devolving right in front of our eyes. Dang, I kid you not,
hold
man.
on, I'm sorry.
I kid you not. Because there is a story that I saw go viral on Twitter of this girl in Scotland, right? And this girl in Scotland had a knife and an axe. 12-year-old girl. 12-year-old girl. And she's threatening this couple. You can barely understand what she's saying. Oh, yes, you want to come here? Hey, what? Hey, you want to? Look at what I got, Dad. Look what I got, yeah. Going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but just completely crashing out. And what has happened, because you know how the lineage of evil do, they just lie. They'll just straight up lie. Deny, and then gaslight. And what the lineage of evil is doing, what they're trying to say is that, oh, this girl was trying to protect her little sister, because they always come up with this crazy story. They are always the victim, okay? Always the victim.
Always.
They have to justify their actions, okay? So what they're saying is that, oh, this girl was defending her little sister, and she's the queen of Scotland, and we got to take back Scotland, and this is what happens when we have corrupt politicians who allow migrants to come in. I forgot about that, because they want to say that the person, right, that was apparently allegedly attacking this girl was a migrant, and that's like that's your go-to for everything right now, a migrant. If they don't know you're a migrant, right? That's what it is. Beautiful story. Migrant attacks an innocent little white girl. And she has a knife and an axe to defend herself. That's what's happening right now. That's what's going on in the world. Okay.
One of the most popular posts on X, which has been viewed over 23 million times, states, "Little scream at a migrant recording them before brandishing an axe and a knife to warn him off. What is happening to our country?" The owner of X himself, Elon Musk, contributed to the unsubstantiated narrative with a repost on August 26th, which linked to a video with the text, "What type of country allows foreigners to and torture thousands of their children? Then they arrest the girls who carry protection for themselves."
And of course it was, retweeted by Elon Musk, retweeted by all these racist, white nationalist, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, lineage of evil accounts. And it just goes off, right? And nothing more then the lineage of evil loves is to feel like they're being victimized. Because that way, as I've said, they can justify all their hatred, they can justify their degenerate behavior, they can justify their hostility, their aggression, their violence, right? As the scripture says, kill, steal, and destroy. They can.
Now hold on. You just heard them to rationalize their degeneracy and their depravity. Do you know? Do you fucking know that Israel has now made it legal to fuck children? See, now I'm not gonna try to be nice and try to water shit down or sugarcoat motherfucking shit. I'm telling it like it is. That's just me. Israel is now allowing people to fuck children. Legalizing pedophilia is what I'm saying.
Justify. That's what they need, right? They need pretext in order to hang the black person from the tree. Well, he was violent. He was violent. That's what happened, okay? Doesn't matter if it's true. They just need pretext, okay? Just so if anyone else has to say, I don't know, I don't agree with that, but he was a violent person. We got to put him down. The same thing that happened, right, with what's his name, Daniel Penny on the subway. Black guy didn't do anything except words, and he used that as justification to take this man's life, and then goes and gets flown, to the Oval Office to have pictures with Trump. The same MO, bro. The same MO. The lineage of evil does not change their playbook. So as all of this is going on, this of course is galvanizing a bunch of white ignorants, and they're just going, "Raw! I can't believe we got to take back the country." Rah, rah, rah. You know how they go off. You know how they do. They just hype themselves up beyond reason.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And it comes to find out, bruh, you're not gonna believe this. None of this is true. None of it is true, fam. Come on now, dog. The police report comes out. They actually have the cameras, right? They have the cameras of what went down. Couple, the dude, right? Then the
Oh shit! Hold on.
He's not a
I did
migrant
this
of any
wrong.
kind.
I'm sorry.
He's
Hold
not
on.
Muslim. I don't know where they got that from, because that's obviously what they want to say. Oh, Muslims are.
I'm sorry about that. I forgot to put this on share screen. Oh shit! Well, what the hell is going on? I mean, what's really going on with my brain? So, okay. So now we're back on track. I'm sorry about that. It's only 5 minutes in. We're started over.
They're literally divulged. Oh my God. So y'all know how I joke about how many of the lineage of evil, the races, that they had this Neanderthal caveman mindset when it comes to anything of, white person good, black person bad. And that's how they view the world. Very, very, polarizing, very binary, very black and white. And it's funny up until now, okay? Because what is happening is, as I said in the intro, they're literally devolving right in front of our eyes. Damn. I kid you not, fam. I kid you not. Because there is a story that I saw go viral on Twitter of this girl in Scotland, right? And this girl in Scotland had a knife and an axe. 12-year-old girl. 12-year-old girl. And she's threatening this couple. You can barely understand what she's saying. Oh, yes, you want to come here? Hey, what? Hey, you want to? Look at what I got, Dad. Look what I got, yeah. Going cuckoo, but just completely crashing out. And what has happened, because you know how the lineage of evil do, they just lie. They'll just straight up lie. Deny, and then gaslight. And what the lineage of evil is doing, what they're trying to say is that, oh, this girl was trying to protect her little sister, because they always come up with this crazy story. They are always the victim, okay? Always the victim, because they have to justify their actions, okay? So what they're saying is that, oh, this girl was defending her little sister, and she's the Queen of Scotland, and we got to take back Scotland, and this is what happens when we have corrupt politicians who allow migrants to come in. I forgot about that, because they want to say that the person, right, that was apparently allegedly attacking this girl was a migrant. That's like that's your go-to for everything right now, a migrant. If they don't know you're a migrant, right? That's what it is. Beautiful story. migrant attacks an innocent little innocent white girl, and she has a knife and an axe to defend herself. That's what's happening right now. That's what's going on in the world. Okay.
One of the most popular posts on X, which has been viewed over 23 million times, states, "Little girls scream at a migrant recording them before brandishing an axe and a knife to warn him off. What is happening to our country?" The owner of X himself, Elon Musk, contributed to the unsubstantiated narrative with a repost on August 26th, which linked to a video with the text, "What type of country allows foreigners to rape and torture thousands of their children? Then they arrest the girls who carry protection for themselves."
And of course, it was, retweeted by Elon Musk, retweeted by all these racist, white nationalist, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, lineage of evil accounts. And it just goes off, right? And nothing more than the lineage of evil loves is to feel like they're being victimized. Because that way, as I've said, that they can justify all their hatred, they can justify their degenerate behavior, they can justify their hostility, their aggression, their violence, right? As the scripture says, kill, steal, and destroy. They can justify it. That's what they need, right? They need pretext in order to hang the black person from the tree. Well, he was violent. He was violent. That's what happened, okay? Doesn't matter if it's true. They just need pretext, okay? Just so if anyone else has to say, I don't know, I don't agree with that, but he was a violent person. We got to put him down. The same thing that happened, right, with what's his name, Daniel Penny on the subway. Black guy didn't do anything except words, and he used that as justification to take this man's life, and then goes and gets flown, to the Oval Office to have pictures with Trump. The same MO, bro. The same MO. The lineage of evil does not change their playbook. So as all of this is going on, this, of course, is galvanizing a bunch of white ignorants. And they're just going, oh, I can't believe we got to take back the country. You know how they go off. You know how they do. They just hype themselves up beyond reason.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And it comes to find out, bruh, you're not going to believe this. None of this is true. None of it is true, fam. Come on now, dog. The police report comes out. They actually have the camera, right? They have the cameras of what went down. Couple, the dude, right? Didn't attack. He's not a migrant of any kind. He's not Muslim. I don't know where they got that from, because that's obviously what they want to say. Oh, Muslims are invading us. Bro, these people created a whole story to try and justify their racism and fear.
In fact, the Courier reports that, despite reviewing CCTV and making other inquiries, officers have found nothing to support the allegations made against the two individuals highlighted in the posts, and police confirmed to the outlet that their investigation into the incident had concluded.
Police have come out like, no, none of that is true. As a matter of fact, we're going to charge the girl. we're going to charge her for brandishing weapons at people. Like, they didn't attack her. There was no assault of any kind. And I don't know, man. It's wild to just see this happen in 2025. Because I can only imagine. You start reading, like, some of the stories of what happened, the Harriet Tubman and other slaves and stuff like that. And it's like, it's different from reading that. Because you're like, there's no way there are people who are really like that. You knew, like, you understand that it happened. But it's just hard to fathom this type of evil. And to see how these people, just immediately go, oh, she's innocent. And now they're upset at the police for charging her. They're saying that the police are in cahoots. You understand how crazy these people are? They are unhinged, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And you wonder why we have a white male crisis out here in the States, bro. Apparently in Scotland, they got a white girl crisis out there, bro. Like, what? Can you imagine this has been a black girl with a knife and an axe, right, with holes in her jeans that she pulled out of her waistband? Hey, you want to go? Hey, yeah, you want? Come on, let's go, huh? You right there. They would have liked this thug, this criminal. Look at them. Look at their culture. That's what they get. But you have a little white girl with a knife and an axe threatening somebody. She's a hero. She was defending herself, okay? Clearly, he was trying to attack her. It's the only reason why she would have to have that. They are doing mental gymnastics to justify this degenerate behavior. Bro, this ain't a degenerate behavior, I'll say. This is straight up caveman type things, bruh.
¿Qué pasaría si finalmente
on.
pudieras hablarles claramente? Y si en unos instantes pudieras sentir
So I'm gonna be honest with you, I would not be surprised if you start seeing these ignorants like eating dogs in the middle of the street. Okay, just I'm the black person made me eat the dog. Like that's where we're heading, fam. That like I'm not
No
even
joke.
playing with you. I'm
No
not fear
joke.
mongering. They're devolving, fam. It's like they hit a barrier and they can't proceed. they can't go past go, bruh. They at stop right now. And they're going backward. And it's only gonna be a matter of time before they start going into the streets talking about we kings. We Vikings. We created this. We created this. We civilization builders. Bro, it's gonna get scary, man. I'm not I'm not even playing with you. It's gonna get scary. They are devolving in front of our eyes. I told y'all not to press them this hard. I warned y'all. Did I not warn y'all? I was like, listen, black people. Y'all need to start praying and just giving them some grace. Okay, give them some grace because they ain't built like us. All right, they will crack under pressure. And you see, when it comes to this economy, when it comes to other people coming into the country, bro, they're losing it, bro. They are crashing out. They're like caveman mind is taking over, like full control. And it's wild. And you see how they run in packs, bro. You see how they have a hive mind. Whereas like we're right, you're wrong. You can have a white officer say, we saw the evidence and there's no evidence suggesting or even anything, implying anything you said was accurate. None of that was shown. You're lying. You probably deleted the camera footage. That's what it is. You're one of them, huh? Bro, it's really scary. I'm starting to see how they had mobs, right? How they would have a mob and burn a house, or how they would have a mob and do a cross in front of someone's yard. How they had a mob and they would drag people out. I'm starting to see this, bro. It's really alarming just to see them go back. And I honestly, it's kind of cool. Hear me out. It's kind of cool because, it's like we're watching caveman. This is how they behave. It's kind of like watching the Discovery Channel, but in real life. You open up your blinds. What are they doing? Oh, they look like they trying to figure out a wheel. Yeah, they trying to figure out the wheel. We should go over there and show them some fire and really scare them. Man, woo! It's going to be interesting moving forward. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe Lucas. You know what? They are in cahoots. Okay, they are in cahoots. That little girl, she did nothing wrong, and it's a shame that this is a miscarriage of justice. Or if you believe, wow, bro. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit back and buy me a pair of binoculars. That's what I'm gonna do. As a matter of fact, I may get a telescope just so I can see far down the road. Be like, oh yeah, they coming. They coming. You see them. We was Vikings. It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. Be careful. Be careful out there. Anyway, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagree, but the number on screen, you call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this. And subscribe. And that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Yes, sir. Hold on.
The black person made me eat the dog.
All right, so sorry about that little bit of interruption because I didn't put it on the full screen. But listen, this is not hard to see that these people have been lied to and have been living a life of lies and deceit, which is the subtitle of my book. They've been tricked into believing that they're white, Caucasian, Anglo-Saxon, Saxon, European. There's none of that bullshit. Whiteness didn't start, motherfuckers, until 1680, and it was not accepted totally because they had to preach it from the Political step, school step, house step, everywhere. Constantly, 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 constantly. And it didn't take shape fully until the 1880s. So you're looking at 200 years worth of brainwashing. Brainwash. You got to understand that the creators of America, the creators of Greece and Rome, the creators of every civilization on the planet were black people. Now let me start with America. King James was black. He brought the white slaves or Slavs who were in the feudal system serfs. Now you can call a serf a slave a serf. It's still the same thing. Who were beating the shit out of them, separating their family, taking the skin off their back, making door panels and book covers, and that's the reason why King James book, the King James version, is made out of human skin. You see, what black folks are not exactly angels, motherfuckers. We created slavery. White folk had nothing to do with that. But if you keep beating and beating and beating and beating and beating and beating the shit out of them motherfuckers, they're gonna get tired. That's what happened with them. Like, goddamn nigga, get off our back. That's exactly what the fuck happened. I'm not bullshitting you. If you think black folks are the most angelic motherfuckers on the planet, you ain't seen shit or read shit. The Vikings were black. They were the criminals of the criminals. Fucker. They didn't give a shit. They slice and dice and open your ass up and throw your intestines out. Brutal. America was discovered by black folks. We were already here. But there was black European came here and wrecked hell. All right, King George, King Charles were black, and their wives were black. They established the 13 colonies. Not only that, the 6 other ones, really the 19 colonies, went up into Canada and started Canada. No bullshit. So this is the reason why it is so vital to understand history and why these motherfuckers love to lie. Well, you just wait, because you know what? I've been sending invitations, I guess you want to call it that, or challenges, you want to call it, to all these top-notch motherfuckers, wannabe white motherfuckers who think they are smart. Especially Netanyahu, especially his cabinet members, and Ben Shapiro, all these motherfuckers. They don't want to see me on their show, and they don't want to come on mine. I'm going to beat the motherfucking brakes off their asses and embarrass the shit out of them. The only people who they would talk to are them go-along niggas. See, but I don't take prisoners. If I get into a discussion with somebody so-called white who's a wannabe Jew, I'm going to bring it to them. I'm not taking the motherfucking prisoner, y'all. I'm cutting throats and cutting heads off. I'm not fucking playing. You cannot play with these motherfuckers and try to go along to get along, try to be the buddy. Cause that shit don't work. That shit don't work. Step and fetch it motherfuckers don't work. Cooning don't work. It never has. You gotta cut these motherfuckers' asses up and out and remove their heads. And now you see why they don't fuck with me. They're not gonna dare fuck with me. But I'm here every Saturday at 8. And on Tuesday nights at 8, please, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, then please share my video with other people. Please subscribe, like, and share so that the algorithm can be running faster, I guess. Become more aware and people become aware of me and this show, and I would really appreciate it. And so we just looked at the fallback of white folks. They're losing their fucking mind. They're not having babies. And before the vaccine hit the scene, of which 80% of the people who took the vaccine were white, their birth rate was like 1.7. To maintain a birth rate population, guys, you need 2.0. 2.0. Black people and Mexicans are like 80 to 1. We're not going no motherfucking way. On the continent of Africa, 1.5 billion people, 70% of the people are below 30. You know, motherfucking well, we're not going nowhere. It's white folks who are scared to death of being birthed out. See, that's the reason why Bill Gates is going around trying to talk about malaria experiment and helping Africa. Motherfucker wants to go and help white folks. Bitch ass motherfucker. That's what you do. We don't need help. And thank God Traore and all of the leaders in Africa said, hell fucking no. What they need to do, and they already done it, not Traore, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the general population. They've convicted that motherfucker already. He has a warrant for his arrest. He can't go every place he want to go and talk all that shit. How in the fuck is he a doctor? Hell, he didn't even create Microsoft. Lying ass bitches and white folks, here we go again. Making him out to be a doctor. Oh, he's genius. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Motherfucker ain't shit. Just like that cripple ass bitch. Who's supposed to be smart in the wheelchair. All like this. I forget his name. That motherfucker didn't know shit. Not a motherfucking thing. I can't think of his name. You probably know who it is. I just can't think of it. But if you do, please put it out in the comments. But listen, critical that we unite. My brother on his show, God bless him, and my sister that be on his show, Brother Maurice, and Sister Cassie. I love y'all still, you know how I go. But he said, if you whoop enough ass, everybody will get in line and do right. That's going to be with me for the rest of my life. That is true. United we stand and be blessed by our ancestors, or disunited or divided, we fall and stay in this same shithole. I can tell you, once we can get a taste, a sliver of freedom and power and respect, it's over. We ain't going back. Oh no, baby, we ain't going back. You done lost your motherfucking nerve, mind, everything else. We're just not gonna do it. We're gonna take our rightful place as our ancestors are urging us to do, because we are the only ones that can get America back on track. Once we get back on track, it's over with. We get back on track with Europe, because all of Europe belongs to the black man and woman. It's over with. Once we get united as far as the continent of Africa goes, it's over with. And it is activated. It is united. So let it be known that esta vaina no funciona, o de la tinte de ese está malo, profundamente está ahí, esa tapizada. Pero rosa un chin de cloro.
Cloro, ¿no? Y alcohol, ¿no sería mejor el alcohol?
No, just un chin, como eso, y rosa con la cosa, un chin, para ver si se puede quitar esa tinte.
¿Esto y cloro?
Sí, un chin de cloro, sí, ponerla ahí. Pero, wait a second. No, no, sí, ok. Porque yo no necesito mucho de información. Okay, so it's over with, guys. If we want to be blessed, we must unite. This is not hard to see, motherfuckers. This is it. White folk, it ain't got shit to do with white folk. It's us. They're not that smart. They're dumber than a motherfucker. They they wouldn't know how to pour piss out of a boot, even if the directions said turn. Yeah, it's about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, well, no, boy, tell me now. And so it's white folks are not smart, right? They look smart, they sound smart, all that shit, and because they got control of the media. They putting their best suit on, best face on, best everything on, and it doesn't belong. The smartest people in the world are black folks. There's a video of this older guy. I'm pretty sure he passed on by now. He's saying that, and these were no black folks saying this. It was Harvard, China, and European geneticists saying that the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet are white folks. They just one step up from the monkey. The monkey has an intelligence number of 6. I'm sorry, of 5, and white folks 6. Black people, out of a 10, 9. Okay? Okay? And this is the reason why you gotta know your history, guys. So, let's go on and move on. So here, this is the channel I've been telling you guys about. Supreme Africa Breaking News, SABN. Please check them out and please subscribe to their channel. I'll be back.
Breaking. U.S. dollar losing ground in Africa as Afrogold gains power. AU insider leak. By Takunda Mavika, Supreme Africa breaking news. Tisu Vanhu Vacho. Supreme family. This is not just an economic update. This is a continental currency earthquake. According to leaked AU financial intelligence, the Afrogold currency system is now quietly outperforming the US dollar in internal African trade across at least 7 countries. And it's happening faster than anyone predicted. Banks are adjusting. Elites are panicking. The streets are whispering. And the US dollar? It's losing serious ground on African soil. Let's unpack this economic revolution, piece by piece. Part 1. The leak that shocked the continent. The entire storm began with one internal report from the AU Financial Integration Command, leaked to SABN by our economic insider, codenamed Protocol Black. This classified document, marked Level Z Access Only, showed charts of Afrogold transactions surpassing USD volumes in domestic-to-domestic African trade across Ghana, Kenya, Senegal, Namibia, Rwanda, and Mali. It wasn't dramatic. It was surgical. Afrogold quietly became the preferred currency for inter-African contracts, digital payments, and wholesale trade in select financial zones. One insider simply wrote in the margin of the document, "The dollar was never Africa's choice. It was our obligation. Now we have options." Part 2. What is actually happening? You might be wondering, how exactly is the dollar losing ground? Here's what we've confirmed through interviews with insiders at AU banks, fintech startups, and currency monitoring stations. In Ghana, over 400 agro-processors are now invoicing suppliers in Afrogold tokens via the Afronet platform. In Kenya, 2 major mobile money companies began quietly converting USD reserves into Afrogold last month. In Senegal, a pilot market zone in Tuba has banned dollar trades for local business licenses. Only Afrogold accepted. In Uganda, gold mining cooperatives are receiving payments directly in Afrogold, cutting out foreign brokers and dollar-denominated contracts. This isn't theory. This is trade. It's moving. And it's real. Part 3. US dollar cracks begin to show up. Now let's talk impact. As Afrogold gains power, the US dollar's grip is weakening. The following trends have been confirmed by AU surveillance networks and insider logs from banks involved in Afrogold Phase 2 rollout. Bank withdrawals in USD have dropped by 19% in pilot countries within 60 days. Black market exchange rates are suddenly favoring Afro-gold over dollars in Mali, parts of Congo, and even border towns in South Sudan. Foreign businesses are beginning to struggle as dollar transfer delays become the new normal in African banks under AU compliance. One banker from Namibia, speaking anonymously, said, "We are under instruction. Afro-gold first, dollar second. It's not a suggestion, it's policy." Part 4, why the dollar is losing. So why is this happening now? Here are the real reasons. Supreme family. 1. Weaponization of the dollar. After the US froze Afro-gold reserves abroad, many African nations saw firsthand how vulnerable they were to Washington's financial mood swings. 2. Currency fatigue. Decades of currency manipulation, fluctuating interest rates, and inflation exports from the US have exhausted central banks across Africa. 3. Gold-backed confidence. Afro-gold is backed by real African mineral reserves, not just printing machines. It represents value, not debt. 4. Afronet integration. With Afronet's encrypted fintech grid rolling out silently, Afrogold is now usable even without traditional internet in offline mobile wallets. This is not just currency competition. It's a system versus a belief. The old belief was that Africa had no choice. The new reality is that Africa is choosing itself.
Scientists at Harvard just
Hold on.
witnessed something extraordinary during a routine study of sound frequencies.
Part 5, the secret weapon, Afronet. Let's talk tech. While the world focused on spy balloons and TikTok bans, Africa built a silent financial internet right under everyone's nose. It's called Afronet, and it's the secret engine behind Afro-gold's rise. According to leaked documents from insiders inside the Zetacode labs in Kigali, Afronet now operates in encrypted blockchain zones across 17 African nations. These are not public websites or normal banking apps. These are secure currency tunnels linked directly to AU clearinghouses. Afronet enables real-time Afrogold transactions without Wi-Fi, offline mobile wallets for rural users, cross-border trades in Afrogold at zero FX fees, biometric ID integration to stop corruption. And best of all, it bypasses SWIFT, Visa, and the entire Western banking surveillance matrix. That's why the dollar is trembling. Part 6. American financial experts start to worry back in Washington. Alarm bells are ringing. Sabian obtained a confidential transcript from a U.S. Senate briefing where a top economist reportedly told lawmakers, if Afrogold reaches 20% adoption across Africa's internal trade networks, the U.S. dollar will lose its grip over African exports permanently. Now, imagine being the world's reserve currency and suddenly watching gold-backed transactions in Africa skyrocket without any dollar in sight. That's not just a loss of money, that's a loss of control. According to our insider government ghost, the CIA, State Department, and U.S. Treasury have now launched Task Force Delta Africa, a classified response unit monitoring Afrogold spread. Yes, you heard that right. America is spying on gold now. Part 7. AU Insider Memo confirms it's strategic. According to a classified briefing delivered to AU governors just last week, the Afrogold rollout is not just economic, it's continental strategy. In a private audio recording leaked to CBN, one AU official said, the colonizers used currency to control borders. We are using currency to erase them. The idea is simple. If all 55 African countries trade in Afrogold, controlled on Afronet, then Africa becomes one invisible economy, immune to external sabotage.
Hold on, guys. I'm dealing with a lot of noise.
Part 8. African leaders begin
hold on.
quiet transition. Here's where it gets juicy. While no African president has made a public Afro-gold announcement, several leaders are already complying behind the scenes.
Hold on, I'm putting on my my speaker. They'll make it a little louder. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. Let me put it back a little bit, and then we'll be on our way.
To erase them. The idea is simple. If all 55 African countries trade in Afrogold, controlled on Afronet, then Africa becomes one invisible economy, immune to external sabotage. We're not building a new currency. We're building a new continent. Part 8. African leaders begin quiet transition. Here's where it gets juicy. While no African president has made a public Afro-Gold announcement, several leaders are already complying behind the scenes. Zimbabwe has reportedly instructed civil servants to test Afro-Gold payroll trials via Unity Bank. Kenya's tax agency is allegedly exploring how to accept Afro-Gold for cross-border duties and tariffs. Namibia has launched a secret task force led by a former central banker to convert mineral royalties into Afro-Gold reserves. This is not public yet, but it's active. Our insiders confirm over 20 African ministers have already downloaded Afro-Gold simulation wallets on encrypted devices. They're not resisting, they're adapting. Why the West can't stop it? Let's answer the big question. Can the US stop Afro-Gold? The short answer? No. Why? Because Afro-Gold is not traded on global forex markets. Because its infrastructure is off-grid and self-hosted. Because no Western...
It's Saturday night here in the Dominican Republic. You know how black folks are. We just like to make a lot of noise. Hold on, let me continue.
Court can subpoena AU server logs on Afronet. Because the value is backed by gold, and the gold is still buried in Africa. This is not Bitcoin. This is not a startup. This is a continental government currency, run through continental military protection, moving through a continental internet. And every time they try to stop it, they only speed it up. Part 10. Global shift already happened. Supreme family. Here's something crazy. A senior banking executive from the UAE was overheard saying at a closed-door forum, if Afrogold becomes stable by 2026, we may offer direct conversion routes in Dubai and Doha. The African consumer base is just too large to ignore. Translate.
Now, one of the things that's happening is that on February 26, 2026, the official launch of Afrogold and the first president of the continent, United, takes place, and Traore will be that first president. This is deep, you guys. You gotta join, or not join, but subscribe to SABN and take a look at all the other ones before this one that had taken place, because I'm on it. I love the channel, and it makes sense.
The East is watching. China, Russia, UAE, Brazil, they are all observing this experiment closely. Because if Africa succeeds with Afrogold, other regions might copy it. And if that happens, it's not just the dollar in trouble. It's the entire Western financial architecture. Part 11. Dollar agents strike back. Let's not act like this is all smooth sailing. According to leaked documents from Chairman Shadow, there are countermeasures already being deployed. Western-funded political NGOs are allegedly bribing ministers to block Afrogold legislation. Dollar lobby banks are running fake media stories about Afrogold instability. A recent cyber attack on a Zetacode facility in Ghana is believed to be foreign sabotage aimed at destroying Afrogold transaction ledgers. This is not a Cold War. It's a financial war, and Africa is fighting with spreadsheets, satellites, and sovereignty. What it means for you. So what does all this mean for the average African? Here's the reality. If you're tired of high transfer fees on Western remittances, Afrogold will solve that. If you're sick of fluctuating exchange rates and devalued local currencies, Afrogold will solve that. If you're a farmer, miner, trader, or entrepreneur, Afrogold gives you power, not paperwork. And for the first time in modern history, your money will be governed by Africans. Not dictated by men in London or Washington who've never even seen your village. That's not just change. That's freedom. Part 13. Conclusion. The dawn has broken. Supreme family, let's close this out. What we are witnessing is the greatest financial shift in African history. The US dollar is still powerful, but it is not untouchable. Afrogold is not a miracle. It's a mathematical rebellion. A rebellion against decades of dependency, debt traps, currency bullying, and financial slavery. This is not just a new coin. This is Africa minting its dignity. And as the world panics, Africa rises. This is Takunda Mavika, your political street pastor and proud son of the continent. Supreme Africa breaking news. Tisu Vanu Vacho. Stay gold. Stay supreme.
All right, you heard it. February 26, 2026. It is on and popping. The takeover is real, you guys. It is not a motherfucking joke. The biggest bank in the world is going to be a black-owned bank. Now you know. So let's keep it moving. And this one, 4 NATO warships turn back after warning from one African army. We are not fucking playing, you guys. We're not fucking playing. I'll be right back.
Breaking. 4 NATO warships turn back after warning from one Africa army. By Takunda Mabika, Supreme Africa Breaking News. Tisu Banhubacho, Supreme Family. Today's update feels like the final scene of a geopolitical blockbuster. If part 1 had your heart racing, part 2 will leave you clapping your hands in pride. Because just hours ago, at exactly 2:13 a.m. GMT, 4 heavily armed NATO warships that were approaching African waters allegedly made a sudden and sharp reversal toward the Atlantic Ocean. This comes after our earlier report, where Marine Commander Kiza and the One Africa Navy drew a historic red line. If you cross, we fire. And today, Supreme Family, it appears NATO listened.
White
This
boy
is not
running.
propaganda. This is strategy, chess, and power all playing out on water. And for the first time in modern naval history, Africa didn't just watch the storm come in. Africa became the storm. Let's get into the full breakdown of what just happened. Part 1. Midnight movements and leaked coordinates. The early morning silence of the Atlantic was shattered not by cannon fire, but by a quiet pivot. Our sources inside the African Union Naval Surveillance Unit have confirmed that at exactly 2:13 a.m. GMT, all 4 NATO warships involved in the standoff made a collective westward maneuver. The satellite logs, intercepted by our insider Chairman Shadow, show a sudden shift in the ship's coordinates, pulling away from what AU maps have now labeled the Afrogold Protection Zone. No sirens, no smoke, no formal announcement, just a silent retreat. And Supreme Family, you already know, that kind of retreat only happens after one thing: pressure. It was the kind of moment that tells you Africa is no longer waiting to be respected. It's demanding that respect be earned. The silent turn of those ships told a louder story than gunfire ever could. The new Africa isn't shouting. It's moving in silence and winning. Part 2, inside the standoff, a cinematic recap. Let's rewind just a little. Yesterday, the One Africa Navy deployed 6 warships to defend the Afrogold protection line, guarding sensitive shipping lanes linked to the continent's new currency system. These included the Mansa Musa, the Nkrumah, the Fela Kazela, the Zulu Shield, the Africa Rising, and the submerged Continental Resolve. Under the leadership of Marine Commander Kiza, these ships formed a blockade. The line was clear: cross it and face a response. The NATO ships kept moving, until they didn't. Tension in the control rooms was thick. Crews were on edge. Pilots were sleeping in shifts. Code words were being passed in whispers. Everyone knew. History was watching. Part 3. What radar logs revealed. CBN obtained access to radar movement maps leaked from an AU naval outpost near the Gulf of Guinea. The trajectory of the NATO ships originally showed a straight push toward West Africa. But after 2:13 a.m., their pattern shifted completely. One by one, the vessels veered left. New routes showed direct paths toward open waters closer to the Canary Islands and North Atlantic patrol corridors. According to Commander Drift, who reviewed the satellite data, the move was not random. It was a coordinated pivot triggered by emergency communications from their command centers in Brussels and Virginia. And here's the kicker. AU cyber units intercepted some of the digital chatter. One phrase stood out: coded but decoded by Afrinet's new cyber division. Standby for de-escalation. Translation: fallback. Commander Drift explained that radar sweeps had been intensified over the last 48 hours. Every time a vessel blinked or adjusted speed, it was logged and tracked by Afrisky eyes in orbit. By the time the turn happened, the One Africa Navy already knew it, 2 minutes before it even showed up on Western commercial radars.
Hold on.
Part 4. NATO's emergency meeting that night. Multiple sources from within diplomatic circles in Addis Ababa and Geneva report that an emergency closed-door meeting was held between US, UK, and French military advisors shortly before the ships reversed. The fear? that if a single African missile hit a NATO vessel, it would trigger a broader international conflict, one that might invite BRICS to act on Africa's behalf. With the current geopolitical climate already on edge, Ukraine, Taiwan, South America, no one in the West wanted a surprise African thunderstorm in the mix. According to Chairman Shadow, who leaked a post-meeting summary to CBN, the phrase used internally was this: "We underestimated the coordination and unity of the One Africa Command." That's a fancy way of saying we didn't think they'd actually fire. And now, global diplomats are quietly updating their threat assessments of Africa. The old version said disorganized. The new version says unpredictable. That's a win. Part 5. Hans Mansa Musa holds position. While the NATO warships turned back, the Afro Marines aboard the AU Navy's flagship, the AUN's Mansa Musa, remained locked in. No party poppers, no fireworks, no TikTok celebrations. Just full military posture, weapons loaded, radars active, and silent watch maintained across the Afro-Gold maritime corridor. Marine Commander Kiza's last encrypted order before the reversal came in was simple: hold line, eyes on horizon. No one moves until they move. That discipline, that resolve, might be the reason Africa won this standoff without firing a single shot. Sources on board say there were no cheers when the ships turned around, only a collective exhale, a silent prayer, and a shared knowing: we just made history. Part 6. The Afronet twist. Digital eyes inside the enemy. According to cyber intel received from Protocol Black, the AU's experimental integration of Afronet surveillance systems may have already penetrated multiple foreign vessels' communication arrays. Meaning, Africa may have been listening in. Sources close to the Afro-Cyber Division claim that during the height of the standoff, they were able to intercept and even decode naval communications from at least 2 of the 4 NATO ships. That's not just tracking, that's digital dominance. If true, this would be the first public indication that Afronet is more than just an internet project. It is a military-grade surveillance and communications system capable of reading encrypted signals mid-ocean. And that changes the game. Afronet may have quietly given Africa the advantage, not just in information, but in psychological warfare. Knowing what your opponent is planning before they even execute, that's how empires are defended. Part 7. Celebration in silence. At the One Africa military outpost in Dakar, Senegal, where AU Naval Command coordinated operations, a small but emotional moment occurred around 3 a.m. Sources tell SABN that the Afro-Gold flag was quietly raised, not as a celebration, but as a marker, a signal that this wasn't about winning a fight. This was about defending the idea that Africa will no longer be treated like open territory. An officer on duty that night reportedly whispered, "They turned." And we didn't. That's all that needs to be said. The weight of that moment, brothers and sisters, cannot be overstated. A continent that was once carved up by foreign powers is now drawing its own borders, not on paper, but on water, in steel, and in silence. Part 8. Protocol Black's official statement to command. Our insiders confirm that Protocol Black filed a private briefing to top AU defense chiefs following the incident. In it, she classified the retreat as a full deterrent success. She recommended the formal declaration of a new no-entry zone labeled the Afro-Gold Protection Grid, covering maritime corridors from Senegal to Angola. That report has since triggered new alert levels in at least 6 coastal bases, which means this is not over. It's just beginning. The Afro-Gold Protection Grid may one day be remembered as the turning point, the invisible wall that signaled the end of foreign military freelancing around African resource zones. Part 9. NATO's quiet media blackout. Despite the gravity of the incident, not a single Western outlet has reported the ship reversal. No CNN, no BBC, no Reuters, just silence. Which is why SABN continues to stand alone in revealing the truth behind Africa's rise. Because the world is watching, but they don't want the world to know that Africa stood its ground. But we see you, and we hear you, and today we report for you. Let the record show. When the red line was drawn, Africa didn't blink. NATO did. Part 10. What this means for Afrogold. Let's not forget the real reason those warships were there. Afrogold. The AU's upcoming currency revolution threatens not just the dollar, but the entire post-colonial financial structure of the world. And every time a foreign ship sails too close to Afrogold transport routes or mineral security zones, it's not just a coincidence. It's a move. So the retreat of these warships was not just a military win, it was an economic defense signal. Africa will guard its gold with steel. The message is now clear. Afrogold is not just an idea. It is a currency defended by military power. And that combination, money plus might, is what makes a superpower. Global reactions behind the curtain. Inside BRICS headquarters in Shanghai, sources say a private message was sent to AU Chair João Lourenço, congratulating the continent on managing the crisis without bloodshed. Russia reportedly offered cyber support if future incidents escalate. China allegedly offered satellite feed access as a gesture of deeper alliance. Even India's defense ministry sent a confidential note suggesting joint naval drills near Madagascar. All of this remains unofficial. But you don't offer congratulations unless you recognize strength. And for the first time in modern history, Africa's strength is not just potential, it's presence. 12. The Permanent Afrogold Protection Zone. The African Union is now expected to formalize the Afrogold Protection Zone, a maritime buffer declared around all known routes and ports connected to the upcoming Afrogold currency and logistics chain. This zone will be patrolled 24/7 by AU naval forces, with air support from the AfriSky satellite program and ground intel from Shadow Unit Zulu. Any unauthorized military presence will now be logged, monitored, and countered, not with press releases, but with action. And today's incident proves one thing: the world got the message. Part 13, a warning, a promise, a memory. Let's make something clear. Supreme Family. This is not a declaration of war. This is a declaration of worth. The warships that turned back were not defeated by missiles or drones. They were defeated by unity, discipline, and strategy.
Unity.
And for a continent that has been disrespected for centuries, that victory tastes different. It tastes like maturity. It tastes like Africa's time. So, to those watching from foreign command rooms, those still plotting in silence, to those dreaming of a divided continent, remember this night. Remember that radar shift at 2:13 a.m. Remember the unbroken line of the One Africa Navy. Remember the silence from the warships after Afrinet entered their comms. Remember the ship called Mansa Musa that did not move even when 4 giants approached because they turned back. But the memory of that red line will haunt them forever.
All right, you know it, my people. It is on and popping. The black man is back. And we're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, a long time ago, we ruled the 7 seas. We're on our way back. We're not asking for it. We're taking the motherfucker. All right? And here we go again. NATO cargo intercepted again in Africa. Hidden weapons destined for Africa. For African rebels. Let's go.
Breaking. NATO cargo intercepted again in Africa. Hidden weapons destined for African rebels. By Takuna Mabika. Supreme Africa Breaking News, SABN. Tisu Vanhu Bacho. Supreme Family. When we said Africa was now on high alert, we weren't joking. The One Africa government may have just uncovered yet another attempt to destabilize the continent from the shadows. According to a leaked security briefing obtained by our insider General Umoja, a second suspicious cargo shipment allegedly linked to NATO supply chains has been intercepted by One Africa Navy forces off the West African coast. And this time, it wasn't food aid or medicine. It was weapons. Again. Let's break it all down. Part 1. Shadow Unit Zulu tracked the shipment from the sky. Intelligence began 2 weeks ago when surveillance drones operated by Shadow Unit Zulu spotted an unusual cargo vessel crossing into restricted maritime zones near Liberia. The ship, registered under a neutral humanitarian NGO, had flight patterns that mirrored previous US and NATO relief supply routes. But something was off. The manifest claimed the ship carried emergency infrastructure tools and surgical equipment. However, thermal scans showed irregular metallic densities deep in the hull, something more consistent with weapons crates than scalpels. AU security systems flagged it immediately. Part 2. The interception. 60 miles from the coast. On the evening of August 24th, 6 One Africa Navy vessels moved in. Operating under codename Firewall Falcon, the fleet executed a silent intercept 60 nautical miles off the coast of Sierra Leone. Naval divers conducted a preliminary scan of the container hulls. Within 17 minutes, confirmation came through. Inside, what appeared to be components for long-range assault rifles, drone parts, encrypted radio devices, and high-density battery packs designed for off-grid usage. Translation: field warfare equipment. Part 3. The real destination? Rebel hot zones. Now here's where it gets more disturbing. Intelligence briefings suggest the shipment was ultimately headed for northern Mali, a region currently crawling with multiple rebel groups and mercenaries. The route would have taken it through off-the-record ports controlled by local militias posing as shipping agents. Our source, Chairman Shadow, said it bluntly. This cargo wasn't going to build anything. It was going to blow something up. Part 4. Western labels. No official fingerprints. The intercepted boxes carried no flags, no official NATO markings. But insiders say serial codes on the weapons matched past shipments used in peacekeeping operations across Eastern Europe. You following? These weren't your backyard black market rifles. These were high-grade NATO-compatible tools. Equipment once seen in missions in Ukraine, the Balkans, and parts of Syria. And now, mysteriously, en route to West Africa? That's either one heck of a coincidence or one hell of a plot. Part 5. Reaction from AU High Command. Following the discovery, a confidential emergency session was called by the One Africa Security Council. Protocol Black allegedly presented the intelligence with visual forensics from Shadow Unit Zulu, confirming not only the cargo contents, but also communication logs between the ship's captain and satellite phones linked to suspected rebel commanders. And the One Africa Army's reaction? Zero tolerance. As of now, the cargo is in a secure port in Dakar, Senegal. The crew is reportedly being questioned under diplomatic protocols, and the AU has issued a silent alert to all naval partners to prepare for more interceptions. Part 6. Afro-Gold Connection. Is this sabotage? Supreme Family, if this feels like a replay, that's because it is. Just 2 months ago, we reported an attempted breach of AU gold vaults in Burkina Faso. Now, with Afro-Gold integration entering Phase 2, it seems enemies of a united Africa are willing to go kinetic. Multiple insiders have confirmed that AU banking intelligence has linked the flow of rebel money directly to accounts previously frozen under Afro-Gold enforcement. They're running out of funds. So now, they want chaos. Part 7. Who's funding this? According to documents leaked by Government Ghost, a trail of offshore financial transactions leads back to holding firms based in Cyprus, the Bahamas, and an unnamed European capital. The accounts used identical laundering techniques as those used in prior rebel armament cases. And while there is no official word in fingers, one senior AU official reportedly said during the briefing, "These are not amateurs."
Foot pain slowing you down?
Hold on.
Introducing the ultimate solution for all-day comfort and support, made with premium genuine.
These are architects. Part 8. Public confusion. No media coverage. Here's what should scare everyone watching. Not a single Western outlet has reported on this. While AU intelligence continues to work with regional governments, international media remains silent. No outrage, no headlines, no investigations. It's almost like the story isn't convenient right now, and yet an entire cargo of war weapons just got intercepted. Part 9. AU civilian response teams mobilized. In response, the AU has dispatched civilian response units across West Africa to monitor rebel corridors, especially in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and northern Nigeria. The plan is simple. Lock down any suspicious airstrips, double-check all humanitarian supplies, and deploy satellite-linked body cams on AU-8 agents. You thought Africa wasn't watching? Africa is watching with night vision goggles now. Part 10. The bigger message. This isn't just about a boat. This is about sovereignty. You can't call a people free while flying them food and sneaking them guns. And you can't call Africa stable when someone's trying to destabilize it every time we rise up with our own gold, our own currency, our own military. The AU's message is clear. Any act of sabotage will be treated as an act of war. Part 11. Chairman Shadow speaks. In a voice note leaked to Sayan, our legendary insider Chairman Shadow was heard saying, They tried to weaken us through banks, through politics, through gossip. That failed. Now they send ships. Well, we send ships too. Part 12. What next? The AU has activated Protocol Z18. That means all incoming maritime cargo flagged for inspection. Naval patrols tripled in Gulf of Guinea and Horn of Africa. Emergency stockpiles of defense drones dispatched to critical zones. AU cyber units instructed to trace pure satellite phone activity used by the captured crew. The continent isn't just reacting, it's preparing. Part 13. The world is watching, but Africa has eyes too. Supreme family, this is not the old Africa. This is the age of surveillance, gold, and strength. This is the One Africa era. They can ship all the chaos they want. But now we have scanners, submarines, and sons of the soil in the sky. This is Takunda Mabika, Supreme Africa breaking news. And to whoever is trying to sneak war into our house, here's the new slogan from Africa. We see you. Tisu Vanhu Vacho. Stay supreme.
All right. I'm praying that you guys can really connect all of these videos up and what it means to the greater course of which our people are going on. There's no ifs, ands, or buts that evil will always destroy itself in the end, and those who partake in it. You can't do wrong and expect for right to come to you. It doesn't work that way. And the arrogance of white folks and the pride of their fall, because pride always comes before the fall, is unmistakably correct. They can't be evaded. Fuck all white folks because they already fucked up in the game. You reap what you sow, and so shall you reap. I'm not the one who wrote the motherfucker. It is a law of the land or a law of the universe. And they are still unrepentant, even if they know the writing is on the wall, and their downfall is already taking place in here. They don't give a fuck. I'm white, and I say so. Man, fuck you. That's what I think about that shit. If you cross, we fire. Now you already seen where they had a little scrimmage. This is the beginning of it.
Breaking. If you cross, we fire. One Africa Army sends warning to 4 NATO warships headed for Africa. By Takunda Mabika, Supreme Africa breaking news. Tisu Vanhu Vacho. Supreme family, today we are in day 2 of a growing military crisis that could rewrite African history. Yesterday, we exposed the classified movement of 4 NATO warships heading towards Africa, allegedly in response to the One Africa Army seizing a NATO spy plane near the Afro-Gold Corridor. And now, the situation has escalated. According to newly leaked insider reports, the One Africa Army has deployed 6 naval warships to intercept and defend against what it now considers a deliberate provocation. And they have made it clear. If those NATO ships cross a certain invisible line in the Atlantic Ocean, One Africa will respond with fire. Yes, this is now officially a face-off. One side has declared a red line. The other side is still approaching it. Part 1. Afro-Gold Protection Line. Established sources close to Marine Commander Kiza, a rising name within the One Africa Naval Intelligence Wing, confirmed to SABN that 6 AU Navy ships have now formed what they call the Afro-Gold Protection Line. This red line stretches just north of the equator across Africa's western seaboard, defending key territories and operations linked to the Afro-Gold rollout and Afrinet underwater cabling. This is not just about warships. This is about Africa's sovereignty. The line begins around the 17 degrees east longitude mark, nearly 80 nautical miles off the coast of Sierra Leone, and extends down toward Namibian-controlled waters. If NATO vessels cross this line, they will be considered hostile actors. And Africa, for the first time in modern naval history, is saying it will shoot. Part 2. What are they protecting? This line, according to internal AU documents leaked by insiders like Chairman Shadow and Protocol Black, is shielding a highly sensitive operation, the movement of Afro Gold reserves. 3 ships are allegedly transporting raw gold between Ghana, Guinea, and Namibia. These ships are part of the pilot integration of Afro Gold banking infrastructure, as we reported last week. They are guarded from above by drones and from below by stealth submarines never publicly acknowledged by the AU. The stakes are enormous. AfroGold is the golden foundation upon which the One Africa currency system is being built. So anyone trying to interfere with that system, whether in the sky, on land, or by sea, is no longer just dealing with politicians. They are now facing the One Africa Army. Part 3. The standoff timeline. The timeline is terrifyingly precise. According to leaked military comms reviewed by Sayan, 6 days ago, AU drones intercept NATO spy plane above Senegalese waters. 5 days ago, One Africa Army seizes that plane and detains the pilots. 2 days ago, NATO launches 4 warships from an unnamed European naval base. Yesterday, we reported that those warships are en route. Today, One Africa Navy announces that crossing the AfroGold protection line will result in war breeze. Marine Commander Kiza has reportedly activated what he calls Zero Negotiation Protocol. This means no diplomacy, no warnings, and no hesitations if the red line is breached. The order has been distributed across all 6 AU ships now positioned like a naval wall in the Atlantic.
You don't need a second job. You just need to learn how to talk to AI.
Let's be real. Most people over 40 use ChatGPT like it's Google. Copy, paste, ask a basic question.
Part 4. Inside the emergency security meeting. Late last night in Addis Ababa, a classified emergency session was called by the AU Security Bureau. General Umoja allegedly chaired the meeting alongside top insiders including Protocol Black and Queen Zeta. CBN has obtained intel from that room. The mood was tense. The One Africa Army has now classified NATO's movements as strategic intimidation and a direct violation of the Continental Sovereignty Charter. One insider reportedly said, "This is no longer hypothetical. This is the first real test of Africa's naval power in the face of Western assertion. If we blink, we lose. If we fire, we rise." According to sources, the AU has begun diplomatic calls to BRICS allies, including China, Russia, and Brazil, preparing them for a potential escalation. Part 5. NATO's excuse and Africa's response. So why does NATO say it's coming? Publicly, nothing. NATO has made no official statement, and no European government has acknowledged the deployment. But according to intercepted communications, NATO is framing this as a routine drill. Routine? When there is a full One Africa Army deployment in the waters? Africa says this is no drill. It is a war games bluff, an attempt to test the limits of African resistance and potentially delay or intercept the AfroGold rollout. But Africa is not buying it. Commander Drift, another insider close to the action, told SABN that the AU believes this is part of a coordinated sabotage campaign. He referenced leaked NATO memos from last month discussing economic containment strategies against AfroGold, Afronet, and the African Central Bank. So if this is war disguised as drills, Africa is treating it like war. Part 6. Local panic, global shock. As the ships draw closer, panic is rising across West Africa. In Dakar, residents posted videos of military vehicles being moved toward the shore. In Banjul, jet engines were heard at night, and in Ghana, government officials have gone silent. No one wants to say it, but people are asking, is this how it starts? Will the first shots of a global realignment be fired in African waters over gold and sovereignty? Meanwhile, Russia and China have reportedly begun satellite tracking of the NATO vessels. India has placed its Indian Ocean Fleet on observation alert, and Brazil has offered intelligence sharing channels to the AU if things escalate. This is no longer just a standoff. This is a global chessboard, and Africa just moved a queen. Part 7. The 6 ships of defense. Let us now break down the 6 AU Navy warships currently deployed. 1. Mansa Musa, flagship vessel stationed off Sierra Leone. 2. Ainz Nkrumah, interceptor class, stationed near Liberian waters. 3. Ayanz Felekezela, equipped with sonar jammers. 4. Ayanz Zulu Shield, armed with torpedoes, near Guinea-Bissau. 5. Ayanz Africa Rising, surveillance deck, monitors aerial movement. 6. AN's Continental Resolve, submerged, exact location unknown. Each ship carries an elite unit from the One Africa Marine Division, trained under the newly created Afro Marines program. These are not peacekeepers. These are protectors of sovereignty. Part 8. Countdown to the Red Line. As of this broadcast, the 4 NATO ships are approximately 140 nautical miles from the Afro-Gold protection line. If they maintain current speed, they will cross into restricted waters within 32 hours. What happens then? Sources say a pre-programmed retaliation protocol is set to activate. It starts with signal jamming, then surveillance drones flyover, then sea-to-sea warning shots. If those are ignored, the Afro-Gold Defense Command has been authorized to fire. This will be the first open naval conflict involving a united African military force. Part 9. Protocol Black and Queen Zeta weigh in. Protocol Black, the intelligence legend whose whispers often turn into facts, told insiders in a midnight call, the world still thinks Africa is playing democracy. But they forgot we studied empires. Queen Zeta, known for her sharp strategic thinking, is reportedly advising the naval units on psychological warfare. She wants NATO to know that every step they take is being watched. Every device they activate, every frequency they emit is being recorded by Afrinet defense channels. Afrinet may not be publicly launched yet, but insiders say the tech is already online in military test zones. The war will not only be at sea, it will be in cyberspace, radio waves, and economic pressure. Part 10. Emotional weight supreme family. Let us pause. We are witnessing history. For the first time, Africa is not asking to be left alone. Africa is saying, come if you want, but you will leave in pieces. This is not just a military decision. This is spiritual. It is psychological. It is ancestral. From the shores of Ghana to the trenches of Congo, our grandfathers who fought colonial invasions are watching, and they are proud, because for once, Africa has drawn a line and said, cross, and you will know our silence was mercy.
Are you interested in meaningful connections? Try this platform. Here you may find new...
Part 11. The hidden reason, but Sadbean has learned something deeper, something more secret. One insider, known only as the Oracle, revealed that this entire NATO movement may be a distraction, a misdirection to keep AU warships busy while covert agents attempt to disrupt Afro-Gold integration in East Africa. Yes, while all eyes are on the Atlantic, the real war might be happening underground, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Ethiopia, where quiet hands are trying to erase data, intercept crypto movement, and fracture the Afro-Gold blockchain. But Afrinet firewalls are active. Shadow Unit Zulu is watching, and the One Africa government is playing a long game. Part 12. Final warning. As the sun rises, the red line remains. Africa has said if you cross, we fire. And NATO? No one knows if they will test the warning. But what we do know is this. If they do, they will not meet a divided continent. They will meet the One Africa Army. And that army is not built on fear. It is built on memory, justice, and the deep knowing that history is finally watching Africa with respect, not pity. We will update you again in 12 hours. Until then, pray for peace, but prepare for change. This has been Takunda Mabika, Supreme Africa Breaking News, Tisu Banhu Bacho, and today, Africa just said, we are home, and we are ready.
Wow, wow, wow. You know what time it is? It's time to put our foot all up in white folks' asses. Because you got to remember the A. La Chapelle Treaty. A-I-X, blah, L-A, and come with Chappelle, the comedian. We were whooping ass and taking names. They came up with this A. La Chapelle Treaty because they were getting their asses beat by us. And they said to each other, look, I look like you, you look like me. If we don't come together and beat these Moors, we're going to be under their thumb for the rest of all of eternity. And this is the reason why, and that's what happened to bring these pale skins back together. Not back together, but together. So now we're coming up on Wake Up Call, America's white male crisis. You see, that the white boy don't know what the fuck to do. He's mediocre at best and lame. His game is lame and everything is lame about that motherfucker. And they getting everything from us. How you think white folks learn how to fight? From us. Hannibal. The military academy in America is based on his ability, Hannibal of Carthage. White folks don't know what the fuck they doing. They don't. Let's take a look. I'll be right back.
Fatigue, though. Oh my goodness. So I'm sure we're all aware of the travesty that has struck Minnesota. It was apparently a black male who went to. Excuse me 1 second. Oh, it wasn't a black male. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'm sorry. It was apparently a Latino male. Even worse, we see why Trump is trying to deport these people out of here. They're criminals. A Latino male that went to a Catholic school and Give me 1 moment. I'm getting an update. So it wasn't a Latino male. Huh? That can't be. You guys double check? You guys sure? Okay. All right. That's awfully weird. Apologies. I've been updated, and since new information that's current and accurate is that it was a white male that went to a Catholic school and apparently did a horrible thing. That's what that's what happened to me.
We already know.
Bruh, listen, it's not funny. But I'm just letting you know this is what happens, okay? Y'all were so focused on the Smithsonian, right? Y'all were so focused on Black history. We got to erase Black history. We got to get rid of affirmative action. We can't have that. We got to get rid of birthright citizenship. All this focus on that. All the focus on bastardizing Black jargon, right? When it comes to bastardizing the word woke, trying to use that as a negative. When it now comes to as far as trying to steal, which is what they're, that's what they're good at, if we're going to be honest, okay? Trying to steal and colonize Black fatigue. A term that we use amongst Black people to acknowledge the foolishness that we had to put up with the lineage of evil. Damn. Sure enough, they try to flip it and say, oh, we got Black fatigue. That's what happens. Now, how did all that prevent what happened in Minnesota? Can y'all tell me? What? I'm all ears. Can y'all explain to me? Because I just want to be perfectly clear. Never, I'll say in the last few decades in this country, have you ever had a Black person, okay, go to a predominantly white church and do a crime like this? You've never had a Black person go to anywhere predominantly white and purposely, with the intent, trying to harm a group of people because you're white. Hasn't happened. But you want to know what has happened? We had what happened in Buffalo, the little white boy there. And what you need to understand is that the chickens are coming home to roost.
He's out of line, but he's right.
It just is what it is. I know there are a lot of good white people out there like, Lucas, I didn't have anything to do with this. This isn't fair. I understand. I hear you. I know it's not fair, but as the scripture says that y'all love to quote, the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. Okay? So now, because y'all were silent while the lineage of evil were doing their evil, now it's coming to your doorsteps. Okay? And I want people to also understand when they want to talk about accountability, when they want to talk about responsibility, when they want to talk about, oh, Black people have been coddled. No. The number one group of people who have been coddled in this country are white people, specifically white men, we'll say. And I'm not saying all of them. No, I'm talking about the lineage of evil. Because when they go and do something where they say, oh, well, little Timmy came from a good background. That's why we should give him a lenient sentence for what he did to that woman. We see this all the time. We had the 2 kids. Remember the 2 kids who had guns? All right, pointing at officers. And what happened? They didn't start pop, pop, going off at the kids, right? Because they were 2 white kids, 2 white boys. White boys. What happened? The officer came up and give me those guns. What did they do with Tamir Rice? What did they do with Elijah McClain? What did they do with Willie McCoy? Damn. Just letting you know, the number one group that has been coddled is them. As I've said before, every accusation is a confession. What they love to do is project. It's a form of gaslighting that they have mastered over time. Because as I said before, this lineage of evil comes here to kill, steal, and destroy. What have they done? What? Number one on the checklist. Number one on the checklist. What did they do in Minnesota? That's what they did. And it's unfortunate because what the conversation, what the discourse will look like 99.9% of the time, I'll bet my life on it, okay? I'm not even a betting man, but this bet I would take. You're going to have two sides. You're going to have people who are like, it's mental health. It's mental health. People have mental health problems and we've got to address it.
How do we stop this? Obviously, we have a mental health crisis in this country. We need to deal with it.
You know that's what they're going to say, bro. That's what the Republicans say all the time. They coddle the white men, okay? They coddle their white ignorance. That's what they do all the time. And what happens is nothing gets solved because they don't do anything for mental health, right? They don't do anything for white males. So what they do is they gaslight them. That's what they do. They gaslight them and tell them, you're perfect, little Timmy. It's not you, it's them. It's the blacks. That's why you have mental health issues, okay? It's the CRT that they're teaching in schools. That's why you have the white guilt and you feel bad about yourself and you're mentally not okay. It's them. And what happens? Black people are going, what is that? What? Huh? And what happens to little Timmy? Little Timmy goes on in this world thinking that he's perfect, thinking that he's flawless. They have revised the history books to protect little Timmy's frail ego, okay? Damn. And little Timmy starts to get into the real world. And he understands now that he has to compete. Little Timmy has never competed in his life. His grandparents didn't compete. His parents' didn't compete. Because little Timmy comes from a lineage of evil. So little Timmy starts to realize that he's inadequate. That, the black kid runs faster. The Asian kid is smarter than me. The Latino kid catches language easier than me. Little Timmy starts to realize that he's severely, let's say, compromised in a multitude of areas, okay? And then he tries to go for his girl, right? He tries to get girls. And he realizes the girls aren't really attracted to him. Because little Timmy's frail. Little Timmy doesn't know how to talk. Little Timmy's socially, awkward. And that's not what they go for. They usually go for the athlete, all right? They usually go for the cool guy. Little Timmy starts to get into depressed mode. And little Timmy starts to take it out on the world because it's the world's fault. It's never little Timmy's fault. Because little Timmy has been told since he was a knee-high to duck that little Timmy, if you're perfect, you're good, you're A-okay, it's the blacks, okay? And really, little Timmy, it's the Jews. Those are the people that are the problems, okay, in your life. It's not you. You've done nothing wrong, okay? We've done nothing wrong. That's why the country tries to attack us, okay? We just try to help this country. We built this country, and our ancestors built this country. But they just want to do anti-white racism. But it's okay, little Timmy. You'll be fine. And that's what little Timmy's been told. So now little Timmy is going in his head. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, the blacks. Oh, man, this is going on. I can't even get a girlfriend.
Hold on.
¿Tienes una gran idea de negocio? Dale un nombre registrando tu dominio con GoDaddy.
Little Timmy has been raised in a culture, because you all know how they love to talk about black culture. It's the culture problem. That's what it is. So you have to understand it's a culture problem. And then the real racists, what they want to say, it's the IQ problem. They're just low IQ. It just is what it is. Low IQ, high testosterone, low impulse control. It's a recipe for disaster. So, in the meantime, between time, while they're spending all this energy on black people, little Timmy is going to the firing range. And little Timmy doesn't look too good. Little Timmy's walking like this, talking to himself. Little Timmy's taking guns, right? Because his daddy showed him how to do guns, because they're all about the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment shall not be infringed. Little Timmy's learning how to fire his 9. He's learning how to fire his AR. Little Timmy's learning about defensive maneuvers, defensive tactics. This is a smoke grenade? Okay. You that. Little Timmy's, just sitting at home, taking in all this culture, right? All his culture. Just so we're clear. We got nothing to do with it. Eventually, little Timmy goes off, okay? Little Timmy goes off because he's realized, I should be doing this, but that's not what's happening, all right? And it's black people, and that's not right, and this is my country, and they're just going to cry. And little Timmy goes off. Little Timmy goes on we'll say a hunting spree. Except this time, little Timmy isn't hunting rabbits, okay? He's hunting white people, okay? Now, I could be mistaken. Maybe this white kid was probably trying to hunt, okay? And he just happened to mistook the white people as rabbits. He just thought, oh, wow, these are really big rabbits. All right, I'm gonna win a prize. I'm gonna win the fair prize. Let me get all these rabbits. I don't know. I'm not in his mind.
Well, new today at noon, the man charged with killing a Hartford teenager pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity.
Outrage as the monster known as the frat boy cannibal is declared not guilty by reason of insanity.
A man accused of wielding a machete during a 2020 assault plans to plead temporary insanity in his case. Police say Martin Georgie of hurting two people back in October of 2020 in Davenport.
Officers Ryan Hardy and Matthew O'Connor sat in court as the man, prosecutors say, shot them in 2016, went before a judge.
At the time that you committed these two attempted murders, were you suffering from some sort of mental disease or defect?
Yes. Someone cooked here.
But what I can tell you is that the chickens are coming home to roost. You cannot tell a group of people that they're A-OK when they're skyrocketing in mental health. You can't tell a group of people the problem is black when they're the ones that are committing the crimes. They're the ones that are doing the heinous crimes. They're the ones that are doing the school problems, all right? They're the ones that are DVs when it comes to their girlfriend, when it comes to their family, when it comes to their children. They want to label black men. Oh, they're not present in the household. That's a lie. You look at them, it's white men. But they will always have an excuse. Well, per capita, Lucas, per capita. How does per capita help the white community? How does per capita help the white community? You're all so focused on black people that y'all have let your own community go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Damn. And what they are doing is now attacking your community. They'll always attack us. I mean, it just is what it is. Now, they're attacking y'all because that's what you've done. You've gaslit them. You've gaslit just as Charlie Kirk has done. Told a bunch of all these young Zoomers, right? Go out and have families. In the meantime, between time, how are you going to have a family on $7.25 an hour? How are you going to have a family, they working 40 hours a week and still can't pay for rent, much less get a house, much less be able to provide for a family, but they gaslight them. So naturally, yes, they're going to have some mental health issue. Naturally, they're going to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And we see this. We see this in the birth rates. Birth rates declining, mental health issues skyrocketing. The list goes on, diseases skyrocketing. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you can do except to expect this. And if you think I'm joking, it's so crucial. It's so overt right now. It's no denying it, right? That even Fox News, Trey Gowdy is admitting that, hey, the problem is white males.
It's always a young white male. Almost always. I mean, did anyone this morning think, I wonder if that was a female? Did any of y'all think that? I mean, there's been one school shooting involving a female. One. At Tennessee. But other than that, it is usually young white males.
Someone cooked here.
Now, you just heard it out of the horse's mouth. But will anything come out of it? I highly doubt. Like I said, you're going to have the right who's going to say mental health and do nothing about mental health. And then you're going to have the left who says, hey, it's a gun problem. It's a gun problem. That's what's going on. And then you're going to have the goofies who try to blame trans people. That's the one that always gets me. I'm like, wait, trans? Y'all going to try and blame trans? It kind of reminds me of when they say, oh, it's the Jews, Lucas. I'm like, okay, let's have fun with that, right? I'm going to take that argument. I'm going to rage you, all right? What type of Jews? Are these Ethiopian Jews? No? Okay. What type of trans? Are these black trans? No? Okay. And it all goes back to them. It all goes back to the lineage of evil. Damn. But until other white people can take accountability and admit, hey, we've got to do something about this lineage of evil, they're going to get harmed in the process. Because for the longest, they thought they were infallible. They thought, hey, well, it's just going to hurt the blacks. It's just going to hurt the Japanese. It's just going to hurt the Mexicans. We're good. Goes back to Lyndon Johnson quote. As I've said time and time again, these mofos have been so conditioned. They've been so conditioned to hope for our defeat more than their victory. Because what they have done is condition them to believe that our defeat is their victory. So if our defeat is
is their victory, and they can stay poor. They can die. They can wither away. Y'all just being used. I'm just the first person, maybe not the first person. I'm probably far down the road in the people who try to warn you in history. But let me just say, I'm warning y'all. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, it's mental health. That's what it is, mental health. Or whether or not you believe, it's the guns. That's what it is, it's the guns. Or whether or not you're really woke and you truly understand, well, it seems like the problem is white males. That's, hate to be that guy, but I'm just following the data. That's what it seems to be the problem. It seems to be that problem has been consistent with everyone, even with women. White women will tell you that. Y'all the ones that try to force them in the kitchen. Y'all the ones that try to make sure they couldn't vote. The list goes on. Until this country comes to this understanding, this epiphany, this hard, uncomfortable truth, country's going to fall. Country's going to deteriorate. And it's deteriorating under, ironically, a white male. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagreement Day. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. And subscribe. And all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Let me speak on this a little bit. Now, I've covered a lot. And one of the things that I'm not hearing, that no one is speaking about, is the destruction of America. You have fault lines out there in California. I want to make sure I get it right. The earthquake fault lines that did 50,000 square miles of damage in 1906, somewhere around there. I can't remember. The San Madrid fault. No, that's the other one. You know what I'm talking about. And then the one in the Middle West, or the Middle West. What do you call it? The Midwest. That runs from Mississippi all the way up to Chicago. That's the Madrid fault. It did 1 million square miles of damage. But you got to understand there was nothing there. Imagine not only those two fault lines happening, but you also got Mount St. Helens. You also got the park where where you got it shoots water, right? You know what I'm talking about. That the St. Mountain Helen, the one out there in California, the fault line, and the San Madrid fault. Guys, it's fucked up. One is bad enough. Imagine if 2 out of those 4 and others that are just primed right now to go off. It would be the utter destruction, not the termination of America, but the utter destruction of America. You have 15 motherfucking nuclear reactors that's on the Madrid fault line. 15. Not only that, the Fukushima fallout is real. You can't even eat the fish and other animals that are coming into our food line, I guess you want to call it that, production line. But you know what? The FDA said, let's just say the level of acceptability is 10 radiation points, something like that. So go from 10 to 100 now. You know, I'm just paraphrasing a little bit because I'm not a scientist along that line, but I'm just saying it's now the acceptable amount of radiation is 100. We're being played, you guys. Not only that, there have been earthquakes and nuclear reactor fallouts that's far past the one from Japan happening in Florida and above Florida that is contaminating our water sources. They're not telling you about that. And now you have these white folks who are just nutty, crazy motherfuckers. They've always been like this. But, you know, got little Negroes going along with the get along. Well, doing their tap dancing and all this other bullshit, trying to save white folks. They don't need no saving because they asses is down. Fuck all white folks. They're nuttier than a fucking a nut box. They're gone. They've been gone. They have not come back. They're not coming back. They're all fucked up in the head. Mount Vesuvius out there in Greece is about to explode. They did that a while back, and I think it's 70 AD or something like that, or somewhere around there, where the mountain Vesuvius exploded and killed damn near everybody out there in Europe. Devastation. In Spain and Portugal, they had tidal waves or what have you that has been devastating. Mother Africa is not playing. God is not playing. There is a undercurrent of frequency vibrations and what do you call it? What do you call that? Frequency, vibrations, and something now. I can't remember. But it just taking the world and tilting it toward the negative. All of this negativity need to be back in balance. Ma'a. Justice over injustice. Righteousness over lies. Truth. Righteousness over whatever the opposite is. That is truth over lies. We have been operating in this zone of inoperability because white folks have fucked this world up. Following behind white folks ain't gonna get it. We gotta follow behind our ancestors. And so now, here we are. And this is what it is. Africa is getting itself back in line with our ancestors. I will be right back.
Confirmed. First One Africa warship sets sail. Afro Navy now reeled by Takun Mabika. Supreme Africa breaking news. Tisu Van Hubacho. The tides have turned, and Africa now commands its own oceans. Attachment Part 1. The Dawn of Afro Navy. At the break of dawn off the coast of Dakar, local fishermen witnessed a sight no one expected. A sleek naval frigate sailing under the One Africa flag for the first time. It wasn't an escort. It wasn't a UN task force. This was Afro Navy's inaugural vessel, reportedly named MV Umoja, launching quietly under high-tech cover. According to insiders within the African Union Secretariat and naval intelligence units, this ship is the materialization of a decade-long project. Africa's first unified naval force, built to secure trade routes, protect African waters, and assert continental sovereignty. Part 2. Why it matters now. You may ask, Africa isn't known for naval power, but here's how the calculus has shifted. Years of illegal fishing by foreign fleets, hidden mineral extraction in West African waters, growing foreign military bases along Africa's coastal states, strategic submarine cables cutting Africa's digital independence. In response, Afro Navy is not symbolic. It's strategic. Control of maritime domains means control of wealth, data, and sovereignty. Part 3. The secret launch decoded. Our sources tell us construction was done in 3 dry docks: Ghana, Nigeria, and Djibouti. Systems installed in stealth mode: Afro-radar, Afro-drone launch pads, submersible bays. Crew compiled of officers from 5 regional blocks, trained under instruction from partners in Brazil and India. Quiet diplomacy, no foreign signage. This was no public pageant, a small ceremony, African-only code names, and one broadcast secretly transmitted via Afrosat to capitals across the continent. By the time the drone footage went viral, the ship was already sailing south, seen but untouchable. Part 4. What Afro-Navy can do. Sources briefing MB on secure channels outlined Afro-Navy's mission capabilities. 1. Anti-illegal fishing patrols using unmarked radar vessels. 2. Cyber-secure naval corridors for Afrogold shipping via encrypted logistics. 3. Deep-sea mineral surveying support, mapping cobalt, nickel, lithium deposits. 4. Surveillance of submarine cables used for Afronet data transmission. 5. Shadowcloak escorts for AU presidential convoys at sea. 6. Joint drills with partner navies from BRICS and Global South Bloc. Afro-Navy is both protector and enforcer, a shield the foreign fishers, cable snoopers, and intelligence harvesters didn't see coming. Part 5. The politics behind the front line. Not every African leader loves the idea. Internal memos obtained by Satin show. Some coastal states feared losing sovereignty over waters to a continental navy. Others worried about budget burdens. A few asked, why Africa needs naval drills when we still lack bridges? But behind closed doors, one AU official whispered, open quote, a nation without ocean control is asking others to starve her at the coast. Close quote. Majority agreed. Vote passed. Quiet implementation followed. No fanfare. Only purpose. Part 6. Tech and Tactical Edge. Afro-Navy isn't just a ship. It's a platform for next-gen African maritime innovation. Afri-radar, encrypted coastal surveillance, immune to foreign tracking. Afro-drone ports, launching amphibious drones for ocean mapping. Aquagold vaults, bullion storage chambers aboard, securing commodity transport. Maritime AI, predictive software not reliant on foreign satellite service. The message is clear. Africa is automating its oceanic domain with local code, local logic, local sovereignty. Part 7. Global reactions and ripple effect. Western navies went silent. No immediate comment. But behind the scenes, scramble moving. NATO planners worried about port access. Fishing fleets rerouting routes. Data companies delaying cable laying contracts. BRICS nations sending messages of congratulations. Cautious optimism. A private memo leaked from European intelligence. Open quote. This vessel is Africa's first shot at maritime independence. Part 8. Case study. In action. One classified incident. MV Umoja responded to an unannounced fishing trawler at Sierra Leone. Hailing signals ignored. Crew used Afrodrone to film illegal nets. Operators placed sealed citations on deck. Warnings transmitted via secure channel to EU Navy. Result. Area was cleared, permissions rescinded, and vessel escorted south. All done quietly. No fuss, no global headlines. Just action. Part 9. Civilian reaction and pride. In Lagos at Aja Fishing Market, open quote, they say the ship is ours, not foreigners. Finally, our sea is respected, close quote. Dakar University student, open quote, they launched a warship and just sailed it. No show, no flag parade, just silent power, close quote. Port of Durban dock worker, open quote, I saw it dock at midnight. No fuss, just respect. That's how you announce power, close quote. Part 10. Strategic implications. African coastal sovereignty is shifting from fragmented jurisdiction to continental enforcement. Economic corridors of Africa can now bypass foreign naval oversight. Afrogold shipments will move under protected escort. Afronet submarine cables can be laid and protected under Afro-Navy's watch. A new era of maritime control is being born, not under foreign flags, but under African unity. Part 11. Comedy and irony. A naval memo joked, open quote, if they steal fish, we steal respect, close quote. Meme among tech crews, open quote, Africa's silhouette on the sea with caption, we went from land to sea, now they can't see us coming, close quote. Dockside humor, open quote, they saw the ship arrive at night, thought it was a ghost, they couldn't believe Africa actually built a warship, close quote. Part 12, what's next for Afro-Navy? Insiders confirm cryptic names. AF-02, patrol vessel under covert deployment in Gulf of Guinea. AF-03, hydrographic survey ship bound for East African waters. Future, AFROSUB Fleet, Harbor Command Network, Joint Navy Air Defense Wing, all geared toward comprehensive maritime sovereignty, in silence, in stealth. Part 13, why this changes everything. Control of sea lanes equals control of commerce. Africa's economic independence now has naval teeth. External threats to data cables, fish stocks, offshore resources. These can now be deterred with presence. No longer dependent on foreign Navy goodwill. Afro-Navy sails, Africa secures. Part 14, Takunda's final word. Africa owns the ocean. Many thought Africa would only rise on land, but now it sails. Not for conquest, not for conflict, for peace, for trade, for dignity. This warship is more than steel, it's a message. Africa will protect her own. Let the world understand, we are not asking for permission. We are owning the ocean. Part 15, call to action. Saben style, like if you've always believed Africa deserves to guard its own waters. Comment, which songwriter or public figure should christen Afro-Navy's next vessel? Share this with every person who dreams of a powerful, peaceful Africa. Subscribe to Saben, where invisible power moves become historic ships. This is Takunda Mabika, from the deck of MV Umoja, signing off with the sound of waves and sovereignty. Tisu Vanhuvacho, Africa sails free.
All right. I'm praying and hoping that you guys are getting this. It's over for white folks. They done fucked up and now they finding out that God gave them a certain amount of time to do whatever they wanted to do and they failed to do the right thing. We civilized these uncivilizable fucking animals 3 times. Once in Egypt, once in Greece and Rome, now after Spain, after ruling it for 1,000 years or more. Their time to rule has always been 150 years. I'm not looking this up. I'm not making this up. I'm not stupid. I studied history very well. It's over. Over. These fake ass Jews bringing about transgenderism and making gay the norm in Israel now, and the fact that in Israel you can fucking rape a child, no age requirement, like it's okay to have a. This is the degeneracy, the depravity of white. The animals. And now let's go forward because we got 3 more videos to go. They're only like 5 minutes long. And I'll be right back.
They know that the Jewish people in Israel are not the original people, are not the original people, are not the original people.
You know what you are? You are an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's what you are. You did that. Yeah, you did that.
No. We don't have.
Can't stand it.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And the friends will give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you. All right. I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible. Yeah. Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews? You want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews? You want to remain ancient Israelites?
I can't stand these white motherfuckers. I really can't.
So we all know Jesus was a black man, right? Yeah. But did you know that the white man we see on the cross today was actually Da Vinci's gay lover, Cesare Borgia? Now this dude, Cesare Borgia, also used to have relations with his own sister. Oh yeah, and he killed his own brother. So you mean to tell me that all the homophobic Christians out there have been worshipping a gay man who banged his own sister and killed his own brother?
You cannot take a lie and the truth and mix it together to be a truth. You cannot tell half of a lie and be like, oh, I told you the truth. No, you didn't. You can't do that. Jesus is not black. He's not black at all. Jesus, in his white image, is actually Caesar Borgia, a gay painter and lover of King James himself, and along with several other guys. Anyways, Yahusha HaMashiach, that is our Messiah. Yahusha HaMashiach is black. Revelations chapter 1, verse 14 is telling us Yahusha, the true Messiah, our true Savior, is telling us his description, not Jesus's.
Hi, shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray because you are our Savior. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come, young people, come back for us, come back to the whole Gentiles, only you.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me just explain. Abraham, Isaac was the Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.
All right, we're running it on down. And I'm going to give my final comment. And let's see here. This is 13 minutes. This is 5 minutes. So we're going to do the longer one first. And then we'll be done. Then I'm going to give my final comment. But it's going to be a blistering motherfucker. So I'll be right back.
Our national security. Our national security. Our national security.
Now this guy, Hoover, was a black guy. But some of us could pass and play white, like Babe Ruth, and come up and see me sometime. The actress, she wasn't white, she was black. Mae West. I'll be right back.
The Chinese, even more than the Russians, even more than the Russians, even more than the Russians. Our counterintelligence program must prevent the rise of a black messiah, from among their midst,
Oh, and black unity is the #1 threat under Hoover and still is under all other presidents. The #1 threat to America, black unity. That should tell you what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is that?
One with the potential to unite the communists, the anti-war, and the new left movement. The Black Panthers are the single greatest threat to our national security. More than the Chinese, even more than the Russians, even more than the Russians, even more right. Our counterintelligence program must prevent the rise of a black messiah, black messiah, black messiah.
Why do you think that the U.S. is so quick to go help Israel fight against the Palestinians? Why? They know that the Jewish people in Israel are not the original people. Oh, no, no, no. They are definitely not. The original people are black people and people of color. So why did one lady, Judith Shore, she was an Israeli consul, say that the biggest threat in Israel is the younger black community? What? Why do they feel so threatened? Why? Why? Because you know why? They know that the black people were the original chosen ones, the original ones that were there. The people over there now, they took over all that land, just like they're trying to take over all of Palestine. They have taken so much land from Palestine also, but watch what this lady says about the black community being Israel's biggest problem. The black community being Israel's biggest problem. The black community being Israel's biggest problem.
The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the baby. Backsliding better starts there. I had last week, we did sit down with my house and we started considering the leadership of the black community.
Like what? Did you just tell on yourselves that, you know, how y'all took slaves out of there back in the day and brought them, you know, and made them make America and all this, because you took them from their original spot. And now they're trying to sit there and continue to take all the little bit of land that Palestine has. The U.S. is evil. The U.S. is evil, not the people in it, because I am from the U.S., but what I'm saying, all it is crazy. We have U.S. soldiers over there going to sit there and kill innocent kids, women, children, elderly men, everything in Palestine. But how did black people, all of a sudden, young black people, and the community of black people, all of a sudden become the problem to Israel? Please explain this to me. Is it because your guilt's starting to get to you? Is it because your guilt's starting to get to you? Is it because your guilt's starting to get to you? They know that the Jewish people in Israel are not the original people, are not the original people, are not the original people.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's what you are.
No, we don't have. I know. Look at this. This is faith. It's faith from God. And the prophet will give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you. I'm hearing some of your traditions, like the days of the Bible. Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or do you want to be Jews? Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or do you want to be Jews? Israelites, or do you want to be Jews?
Why did one lady, Judith Shore, she was an Israeli consul, say that the biggest threat in Israel is the younger black community? What? Why do they feel so threatened? Why? Why? Because you know why? They know that the black people were the original chosen ones. They know that the black people were the original chosen ones. They know that the black people were the original chosen ones.
The Jews who were brought in Israel, most of them are white. Not most of them, almost all of them are white. Including me. I was brought in Israel from a country which is called Bulgaria. It's a European country. And I can tell you that in every European country, there are Jews, and there is so-called organization, Jewish Agency, which is trying to take those Jews to Israel. if you track this organization, you can find out that this is not an Israeli organization. This is an American organization. Jewish Agency is an American organization which has the exclusive right to decide who is Jewish and who is not on this planet, and who to be taken to Israel and who's not. Now, if you do research, you will find out that in Africa, in Black Africa, they're looking for Jews only in Ethiopia. They bring Jews only from Ethiopia. And I can tell you by knowing a lot of people who Ethiopian Jews here in Israel that they're treated very badly, very badly. And many of them commit suicide because they cannot take it. So they come from some place, Ethiopia, they don't have much there, but they live decent life. And when they come here and try to be humiliated and so on, some of them cannot even take it. Now, what I'm trying to say is that why from each white country this Jewish agency is trying to bring Jews, and when it's about Black Africa, they go into Ethiopia, and this is where they stop. The only one place. Now, because of the same thing, they're trying to do the white supremacy here. They try to bring white guys here and to take the supremacy over Arabs, which are the local citizens, and over blacks, which are so far they're only the Ethiopian Jews. Now, what I'm trying also to say is that another question is why America needs Israel. There is no oil like in other Middle Eastern countries. There's nothing they can be attracted to. But why do they do all these things? Why do they invest money, bring white people and so on, and build their system of white supremacy, just like in America they build in Israel? Why? And I can tell you why. Because the true Jews, according to the Bible, you can check it in the Bible, you can read Job 30 and some other places. They have never been white. They have been people of color. And they have not stopped in Ethiopia. They were in Ethiopia, Sudan, and they have settled in West Africa. From West Africa, they have been taken as slaves to America. Brothers and sisters, blacks of America, it's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can, just to hide this away from you, hide this away from you, hide this away from you.
I have said to people when they ask me if this capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental cooperation. Cooperation with Israel. Fundamental.
Brothers and sisters, blacks of America, it's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can, just to hide this away from you. Gonna take Israel, gonna bring white people here, and to tell you these are the Jews. Gonna kill you, gonna kill Arabs, gonna mistreat white people like this guy, just to tell you this lie that you are nobody and we are the Jews with all the history and so on. It has been deleted your history. You don't know who you are. Don't forget about it. This is why America has been taking your history away, never to find out it. It's all about you. I'm telling you this, please. I don't ask you to come to Israel and to start a revolution. I'm just asking you to start thinking this way, to believe me a little bit, because I'm living in Israel and I'm part of this injustice. I really believe that people like me and you, we can bring the justice back.
Why did one lady, Judith Shore, she was an Israeli consul, say that the biggest threat in Israel is the younger Black community? What Why do they feel so threatened? Why? Why? Because you know why? They know that the black people were the original chosen ones. They know that the black people were the original chosen ones. They know that the black people were the original chosen ones.
Today, it is prohibited, and you can Google this, to do a DNA test in Israel. Totally forbidden. Wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. You'll be jailed. You do a DNA test in Israel. Why? Because they know the truth will come out. You come from Poland, you come from Ukraine, you came from Europe, you came from everywhere else, and they were the original Middle Eastern Jews who lived together with the Muslims and the Christians for centuries. For centuries. So what happened to a lot of the Jews? So what happened to a lot of the Jews? So what happened to a lot of the Jews?
I'll tell you what
What's
happened.
your
One of the things the ex-president of Egypt, Nasser, Gamal Nasser said, you left here black and came back white. We cannot accept you. That's the only proof I need. That motherfucker was there. And he's blacker than a motherfucker. He's more black than me. Let's continue and wrap it up.
thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Cain. Here, Williamson explained. Abraham, Isaac was the Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children.
All right, we are down to the last video, and I'll be making my last comment to wrap it up. Let's go at it. Hold on. Let me bring it back to the beginning.
But every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude. I'm talking straight up black dude. I'm talking straight up black dude.
Jews are black and their originally homeland would come from Ethiopia, and that was over 12,000 years. That's what they sprang from. And that's another thing. Here's the continent of Africa, but they say that's Middle East. That's part of Africa, but they changed the name. So just throw you off, okay?
How do I say this? The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either.
Was Jesus white or black? Many people fight about this today, but here's the truth. He wasn't either. Jesus was a Middle Eastern Jew, which means he probably looked more like this or like this. But what's more important than the fact that he probably had olive skin, brown hair, and brown eyes? It's the fact that Jesus came to serve everyone.
It does not matter what color Jesus was. What matters is that he came to the earth, lived a perfect life, died a death for the sins of the world, and then conquered the grave, proving that he is the Son of God. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, huh?
Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude. Okay, even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes. And you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people. Like Kanye was right. Kanye was right. Kanye was right.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are.
Jewish people are black people. Like Kanye was right. And those people yelling at the park dressed in purple about black people being the real Hebrew Israelites, they're right. Okay? Like, anytime you see the word Hebrew or Israelite or Jew in the Bible, in your mind, you got to replace that with black person. So the whole Bible is going to make a lot more sense to you once you start reading it like that. But you need to let this get settled in your heart now before you get up there. So, I mean, they were literally whipping him on his way to get crucified, you guys. Crucifixion was a punishment, like, for slaves back then, and gladiators. And all the gladiators were black too. Did you know that? Like, you guys, he was sold for 30 pieces of silver. That was the maximum amount of money that a slave could be sold for. Oh, just coincidence? Above his cross, it says INRI. They were like mocking him. They were saying it says this is the king of the Jews. They're saying, like, here's the king of the black people. Look what we did to him. Why does the KKK burn crosses, you guys? The racist KKK. It's just, black people rejoice. You are God's chosen people. Like, I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, but be honored. Like, feel good about that. Like, how cool. Anyway, see you later. Jesus was black.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black.
Yeah, we already heard that one. That's KRS-One, baby. So, let me. Hold on, I'm reading it. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, and let me see. I don't even think I got this brother. Yeah, he is a friend. So we're gonna wrap it up, and let me get out of here. Stop sharing. So, in a nutshell, jealousy is a motherfucker. There are just some people in this world don't want you to be who you truly are. Not only within your own ranks, but especially that you can see outside of your own rank. How the fuck do white folks think they're superior to us? No, hold on. Yeah? Oh, okay. I gotta redo that one. They are superior to us. They are superior to us in the way in which they act. They act like fucking animals. They are superiorly stupid, ignorant, insane, and every other fucking thing you can think of. We civilized these motherfuckers 3 times. Once, strike 1, strike 2, Strike 3. There's no more help. Nothing. I don't give a fuck about white folks. I don't give a fuck if they got a place to live. I don't give a fuck if they got a morsel of food or meat. I don't give a fuck about them not having a grain of rice. I give no fucks. Fuck them. They didn't give a fuck about us, so why are we giving a fuck about them? You feel me? But you always reap what you sow. And so shall you reap. Until next time, next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat station. You know where I'm at. We'll see you later, and for the next 24/7, 365, stay black.